the global environment is such that these geopolitical differences, tensions, rivalries will always be at the backdrop all the time from now onward. If America is not involved or chooses not to be involved, that should not stop the rest of the world from coming together and finding ways on our own. If we want to grow, if we want to expand, we have to we can't just stick to the familiar markets. We have to look at new areas. And these new frontier areas are in places like Africa. The global environment is such that these geopolitical differences, tensions, rivalries will always be at the backdrop all the time from now onwards. This is the new normal. They're not going to go away. But does that mean we should stop talking, stop engaging? I think the answer is, in fact, we need more platforms to come together to find ways to engage with one another. And in this regard, I think this year's G20 has been a tremendous success. South Africa, of course, is very proud of what it has achieved because this is the first G20 summit on African soil. But so too are all the African countries who participated actively in this. And I'm glad we were able to get a declaration amongst all the countries. Yes, there are differences, but still some consensus on the way forward. And from that point of view, I think it's been a very fruitful outcome. America is, for now, still the biggest pole, and obviously American leadership is vital in providing that global framework for the world. But if America is not involved or chooses not to be involved, that should not stop the rest of the world from coming together and finding ways on our own to guide the direction forward or to find a way forward amongst ourselves. And if America is ready to join the conversation and discussion later, they can do so at any time. So that's our thinking and that's our approach. And that's why I think even without America's participation, the G20 summit this year has been useful and productive. But obviously, if we continue to have further discussions on economic issues, on trade issues, we would want to have America's involvement because their leadership, their active participation is vital. And since, especially when America is going to be the chair of G20 next year, we look forward to the agenda which they have set, which is centered around growth, which will be important for countries everywhere. If we want to grow, if we want to expand, we have to we can't just stick to the familiar markets. We have to look at new areas. And these new frontier areas are in places like Africa. There is tremendous potential in Africa. If you look at population-wise, the entire African continent is more than 1.5 billion people. If you look at population growth, this is the region in the world that is growing. Many other regions are not growing. So if you project 10, 20, 30 years from now, Africa could have 2 billion, 3 billion people. It's a very sizable market. So for us to start building these links so that our businesses can start to come in, enter the market, familiarize themselves, and hopefully over time get to understand business conditions here and grow their presence here. I think this will provide more opportunities in the longer term for both Singapore businesses and also Singaporeans looking to venture abroad. I think we also have, it's not just so seen through a narrow lens of whether Singapore benefits or not, but I think for us as a country, having come this far, having developed and progressed this far, we do want to help others succeed as well. And the way we do it is by sharing our experience and helping to build up capabilities in other countries. Well, we should not dismiss the efforts of small countries or countries with seemingly limited geopolitical influence, because at the end of the day, these efforts can all add up. If more and more countries, you start small, whether it's Africa, whether it is in Asia, whichever the region, but as long as we begin somewhere, as we did with the P4 in the past, which was 4 smallish economies, and eventually that became the CPTPP. So similarly, in many of these efforts, whether it's FITP or other things, it doesn't matter whether you're small or big, whether you have geopolitical influence or not. I think it's what matters more is if the economies come together, we find a good platform to innovate and try something new, be it on digital trade, on supply chain resilience. The success will then speak for itself, because when we are able to do something different and it's impactful and it's effective for a few of us who are involved, others will come knocking on the door.